Bambi, Bambi. Bambi, Bambi.
Hey, YouTubington.
Hey, YouTube, we are back. Today is a nice conversation.
It's a nice conversation
What do
kind
we
of
have?
day. First, guys, can you even with these new cute little couches?
Yeah, I love them. Like
The
this,
mini poofs.
they're like you can go around, you can spin around. Let me spin for you guys before we get into it. Wow.
All right, guys, so we're back today with, I think, a pretty good one. All right, so let's get into our number one asked question.
Number one asked question since we've been married.
Yeah.
Pop it out.
All right, guys, so
Everybody wants to know.
everybody's always asking us why we don't have kids already. We've been
Yeah.
married for 4 years.
Yeah.
And people are like, oh my God, where are the kids? It's been a million years. So it's been a million years. Apparently we've been married for far too long and we don't have children. So
Yeah.
today we're breaking down why and to
Yeah.
just talk about like
The
our
truth.
reality,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And the reality of truly a lot of other couples around the world.
Yeah.
And it's not really a topic that I think is talked about a lot, so we're diving into it. So Bambi, take it away.
Well, so number one reason why for me having kids when we came together was not my priority is I don't want to repeat the mistakes of my parents, right? I grew up, my grandparents from my mom's side had 8 children, right? Out of the 8 children,
That's like, I can't.
yeah. Out of the 8 children,
Yeah.
again, they did what they did, but there was no like success story. You know, they all just did like averagely or below, way below averagely. None of them picked up any form of like major career path that will inspire. You know, like again, we were poor, you know, but I didn't see any of the 8 kids try to elevate the family, you know. So again, I saw these 8 of them start having kids as well. You know, my mom has 4 kids. My mom's younger sister has 5 kids. You know, so like it's like I'm seeing all of these things, and I'm like, no, this is not how it should be. And when we got together, I was literally trying to figure us out.
Yeah, like
you know?
your life,
Yeah, you know.
like our life now coming together as 2 people as one.
Yeah, 2 people as one. There were so many things I didn't understand, which we're gonna break down. But my first thing was having a kid, immediately getting married without proper understanding who I am married to, without understanding our strengths together, and then try to build a sustainable financial what is it called, foundation and life before we bring, you know, a third party into the picture, you know. So I'll stop there and let you give me your point, then I'll continue.
So your first point was the financial part.
Well, my first point is I didn't want to repeat the mistakes of, you know, having kids
When you're not like financially.
when you're not mentally, financially, you know, and compatibility between you and the person you're getting married when you're ready.
Yeah.
You know, like
Okay, yeah.
That's the first thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then for me, I would say that just personally, like growing up, I didn't have the same experience, right? I don't come from like a really big family. There's a lot of my family I don't even know. So it was always very small, close knit. Me, my mom, dad, brother, nah. So I'm used to like the opposite. And then I think growing up also, like I was always very like career driven. I was always focused on like being the absolute best that I could be in the career path that I wanted, and then being married. And I just never really thought about kids because it's never truly been a desire of mine. But, you know, I also felt like if I get married, you know, when I get married, because I always knew I'd be married, like I had a great example of marriage at home. And so I knew like when I got married, if kids come, it would probably be something that, like if it happens, if that's what God wants, I always felt like it would be like so far into the relationship, because the priority and focus for me was always getting established with the person I'm with.
Yeah.
Spending like tons of time with them, whether that's a year, 4 years, or 14,
Whatever,
that
yeah.
looks like. Everybody's different. And establishing that foundation for me was always so much, took priority over like, okay, when am I gonna have kids? So I would say like, well, your foundation was like making sure, right, like mentally you guys are good, financially, and like you said, the knowing each other. Those are essentially my same things as well. But yeah.
And now let me take it a little further. So when we got married, I didn't have a job. We were living with your parents.
Yeah.
From the first year you get married, people expect that you should have kids immediately. Now, 99% of the people trying to put pressure on us to have kids when we got married, they didn't even know if what our financial situation was. I was living in your bedroom, in your parents' house. I can't even imagine.
No.
Bambi?
It wouldn't have worked. It wouldn't have worked.
I can't even imagine.
We didn't have any space for us. Like how we survived.
How we survived in that room
like,
is a mystery. And I can't even imagine.
But some people even did know and didn't care.
Yes, people don't care, you know. And this is why this conversation is so important, because sometimes people act like they don't care, but then the consequence of their decision, they put that pressure on everybody around them. You know, I don't want to call anybody to say, oh, please, I need your help to pay
diapers.
I need diapers, I need to pay for my child's school fees. That's a huge responsibility. So when we got married, we were in mom and dad's house, we couldn't afford. So these are the list of things I was trying to figure out first. One, how do I even survive with you in America? I'm new here.
Yeah.
That's one. Two, at that time, we didn't even have medical insurance. We didn't even have...
I did through my job, but that was
you did through your job, but as a family, we don't have medical insurance. So I had like a list of things that I felt like I need to check them off, not the first year, because that's another thing I want to say. A lot of times, people make lifetime decisions over short-term success. Let's say, okay, one of the years God blessed us financially, it was
like I got a raise.
Yeah, you got
or like a bonus, just a one-time bonus.
A one-time bonus from your job, or you got a quick raise from your job. I've seen people who go off just that little success and just immediately have a child, right? For me, I was like, no. Yes, we made money the first year, but what is the second year going to look like? Now, when we now became self-employed and we started operating our business ourselves, my priority now moved from, okay, can we sustain, can we build multiple sources of income, sustain, let's get to the point where paying bills is no longer our headache. Like we no longer have to choose between, oh, should we pay for the car or should we pay for the house? Personally, I'm too scared to even bring a child into the picture, because for me, that is what I saw my parents go through. I always say, like, my parents didn't enjoy their life. It's almost like they lived all their life trying to give us a good life.
So then I think even like a good point, like how you just said that was your experience. From my experience, my parents did have it together, right? Like they were both super successful in their careers at the point when they had me and Jay. And they were like rolling in it, right? So they thought they were good, but they didn't have the financial like foundation. It's like you said, it's like that quick, like, okay, my dad got some really great modeling checks, or my mom got some really great checks from a line she just did with like Tommy Hilfiger. So it's like, okay, you can think I'm good, I'm ready to bring in a kid. And then, it wasn't until like 8 years down the road that they experienced like super tough times, poverty level, like, and then all of a sudden it was like, uh-oh, there's no more money. But for them, what they did have was the other part of what we're saying, which is the strong foundation with each other, because they did wait to have kids. I think they wait, I don't remember, maybe it was like 5 or 6 years, whatever it was, but they waited a while to have kids. So even though the money, right, like went out, they had the foundation, right? So it wasn't like they had no money, plus they weren't solid, because they probably would have never made it. I'll tell you right now, living the life I lived as a kid. It was great. The money was there. When it was gone, it was gone. And my parents could have easily just split. A lot of couples do.
Yeah.
They could have just lost it, or this one's
Yeah.
doing that one.
Yeah.
So they had the other part of what you were saying, which is the foundation of themselves, right?
Yeah, they know each other
Yeah,
properly.
right.
And you could tell, look, they celebrated how many years of marriage? 30.
Maybe they're at 37
Yeah,
or something.
they celebrate 30-something years of marriage, and they are still like best friends because they took time to know each other. You know, so for me, again,
Stop rushing us, people.
yeah, and apart from even they can't even rush us.
No, but
you
it's
know.
also
yeah, they can't rush us.
It's not that we take on the pressure, but it also is. It can be annoying at times, but it's also the insensitivity, right? Because you never know what people like us or any other couple is going through. There are some people who want kids the minute they get married and they can't.
And if okay, yeah.
So, you know what I'm saying? So it's
and
like
if that's your priority, once you get
and that's
married,
fine.
that's fine.
But everybody's priorities are different, and everybody in 2023 needs to be a little more open-minded to the
Yeah.
fact that not everybody wants to follow that same cookie-cutter path
Yep.
that people did in the 1950s when life was drastically different.
Different.
Like nowadays too, it's like there's so many other things than just
Yeah.
being a parent. It's like it's a lot.
You have to be mentally ready. So now, for the purpose of this video, you know, like we've just opened up to you guys. Personally, you know, I'm not ready yet. You know,
Personally, I'm not ready yet.
I'm not ready yet. I'm not ready, and
I'm good with that. I'm more than
of
good
course,
with that.
And I'll say this to you guys, right? There is no guarantee. Like even when you know, because there's this mentality of have this kid so they can grow
with you. What does that mean?
What if after I have the kids I die the next day?
Exactly.
You know, my parents are not here.
You're the first person who can speak to that.
Yeah, my parents are not here. My parents don't even know if I died the next day after they died, right? I have an elder brother that we don't even know where he is.
Yeah.
You know, Tunde Lawanson. We don't even know where Tunde is till date. We've been looking for my brother for years. You know, so again, for me, it's very deep. And I feel like people just treat having kids as going outside and buying bread. Some people have kids with people they don't even know.
Yeah.
Like I remember quietly I used to say to myself that I need to understand you properly. Like I need to know your strength. I need to know your tolerance. You know, like I need to know like before we even start talking about like a third party, right? I need to know what you like. Who are you? You know, like.
Plus, guess what?
Yeah.
Bambi, you're my baby.
Yes,
Is my baby.
They say it all the time. They say your husband is your first baby.
Bambi is
You are not
my
doing
baby.
You are not doing a good job here, too, Bambi.
Is my baby.
Bambi, I'm testing you.
You're so
Bambi is not doing a good job here. Imagine if we are two.
Why?
Imagine two of me.
No.
I did like for
No.
example, this morning she gave me only apple for breakfast.
No.
Is that what you'll be giving her?
No.
Baby?
Yeah. You peace.
So again, right?
Baby Bambi.
No, wait, relax. We're going to be two.
And you were ready. Your eyes look like you like.
You guys know we're trying to have such a serious conversation, but it's almost like we it's
said
still
the
serious.
Well,
Yeah,
and we
it's
did
still,
the serious part already
yeah,
too.
it's still serious. So now, one question I'll ask you: what would be your sincere, non-religious, non-traditional advice to a young girl that is going into marriage and and just having kids in general?
I would say make sure it's something that you truly want to do.
Yeah.
For you, not for your tradition, your culture, your family, society, or friends, because none of that will be there for you at the end of the day when the baby's there. So I would say make sure it's something that you genuinely want past, like people are always saying, oh, imagine how beautiful your babies would be. Like,
Yeah.
can you imagine how stupid it would be if we have kids because of their
Because of
physical
their
appearance?
comments. Yeah.
So, like make sure it's what you really want. Make sure you know yourself and your limits. Like a baby's going to test you beyond anything you could ever imagine. I'm currently seeing people that I know, that I don't know. You read forums where people are like, I'm losing it. I wasn't prepared for this. Like, so again, make sure it's really something that you want and you're prepared. Kids are with you forever. Make sure that you're in a good place with your spouse. You know, make sure that you guys are solid financially, yes, but almost even more importantly, it's like the foundation of you two. Because like I gave in my example, my parents had the money and it went away, right? So have that foundation of you guys first. And I think once you have that, you're pretty set, like making sure those things are good. So what do you feel is the most important to, you know, advice to like a man, you know, non-religious, again, no like religion or anything behind it? What would you give them for advice if they are thinking about having a child right away? Or in general, just to make sure they're ready, like what would you say?
First, I will start with the advice my dad ever gave to me. I remember as a young boy, my dad said to me, never make love to a girl you cannot accept a child from, right? Because, you know, and he was talking, then it was like education on condoms and stuff like that. He was like, you can't even trust those, like never make love to a woman you can accept a child from. So going from there alone, I would say this, a lot of people are not fathers, you know, they are baby making machine, you know, because they don't even know themselves as men. And I'm going to even say a few things in regards to that. I've seen a man, or I've seen so many men that are on this same level. They had their first child and they are struggling with that child. Maybe they make $200, let's say they make $600 a week. You have one child, but you're struggling already. Now, as a man, before you go ahead and start having the second and the third, at what point didn't you talk to yourself to say, okay, wait, I have one child and I'm struggling. How can I increase my finance? Can I, you know, I have some time to myself. Let me develop more skills that will, because whatever financial level you are, if you want to go from that financial level to the next level, sometimes all you need to do is improve on your skill set. You know, like what other values can you provide to the society that would make them increase your, you know, change career paths. You know, so like for me as a man, like think it through properly. You know, take time, don't rush, understand each other properly. Even if you rush and have one, before you have two, ask yourself so many questions, financially, stability, you know, don't put, how will I put it? A lot of men just see themselves as, get her pregnant, after all, I'm out there walking, I don't care, she takes care of the child. No, it's, if I have a daughter and, you know, she ends up getting married to a man that just feels like, oh, it's just to impregnate her, I don't care kind of attitude, you know. In fact, if my daughter, if I see that my kids are suffering, right? If she's married and she's suffering with the guy and they have the first kid, I'll call the boy. I said, before you have your second child, you better think, you know. I will probably improve your skill set, improve your finance, you know. Don't bring another child into the marriage when you know you guys are already suffering, you know. So for me, I just say this to the guys, you know, you are a man, you know, think deep. It's deeper than just popping, you know, popping them out like, you know, like, you know,
like Nick Cannon.
like, and that's another thing, right? There is no way you are able to take care of all of them equally.
It's not just about the money.
It's not even about the money. That's another thing, you know, like a single child requires so much attention. There is no way all of you, and that's why they say each child has a different parent. I don't know if you've seen that statement before. Like each child has a different parent, because the parents, when they had their first child, who they were is different from when they had their second child.
Right, yeah.
Is different from when they had their third child, you know. So just make sure you are able to, not even in today's world and how crazy it is, you know, think it through. But sincerely, this is our reason and we are not ready. We're taking our time.
We're enjoying life, Bambi.
Enjoying life.
We're living
trying
our
to stabilize
best life.
Yep. keep quiet. She's about to start singing a new song that I recorded that is not out yet. Is that how you're going to be leaking my songs?
Licking? Did you mean to say leaking, Bambi?
It's part of it. Bye, YouTube. You peace. You peace. You peace.
Licking your songs.
Count your blessings. Life is full of blessings. Thank God for His mercy. We pray. Waking up is a miracle. Open your eyes to the sunshine. Brush your teeth and wash your face.